What is the best thing you have heard someone sleep talk? Sleeping over at a buddy's place in high school. Our one friend sits up, turns to look at us, and says, "Hey guys. We're all out of poop. I have never cried as hard as I did that night. You cried because you were out of poop, right?" My fiancé woke me up very aggressively and said a duck is a duck that leads the grey ducklings and promptly fell back asleep. Not the worst motto ever, I suppose. I turned over in bed and my boyfriend said, soundly asleep, "That was pretty sltty." When I tried to wake up my boyfriend a few months ago, he muttered, "No. The minions will kill me." He spends a lot of time playing League. Wash the salad. Mothfka. My wife sat up in the middle of the night and told me to get the F-King jetpacks ready, then laid back down. Hahaha. But SRSLY. Get them ready. Honey. Wake up. It's time for bed. I lived with adult siblings. They both talked in their sleep. And if they were sleeping within earshot of each other, they could manage to have full-on sleep conversations with each other. Sometimes there would be childhood regression and they would sleep argue over who was going to walk the dog, wash the dishes. Sometimes it would be straight gibberish. But it would be in conversation format. She would say some nonsense. Then he would wait until she stopped. Say some gibberish of his own. And she'd respond to that, and so on. If I spoke quietly enough to avoid waking them, I could even steer the conversation. So much entertainment was had living there. I do not need a babysitter. He was 18. He's probably right then. I could have sex with everyone in New York in 8 hours. Ripping ensued. I'm the type of person that enjoys nighttime because everyone else is asleep. I was vacationing with my familia and reading a book in bed in the same room as my younger brother. Out of nowhere, he sits straight up and starts complaining about the damn mosquitoes. And who left the tent unzipped. At first I was startled, but upon realizing he wasn't awake, I started laughing. My brother turned his head eerily slowly in my direction and uttered, "It's no laughing matter," and then went back to sleep. I didn't get any sleep the rest of the night. I kept the CD player in the fridge so it won't spoil. My roommate freshman year used to frequently sleep talk in Spanish. It would never disturb me because most of the time it was quite soft. One night, however, right before my physics final, I was awoken quite suddenly by the sound of him singing opera. His sleep. He remembers nothing. A few months ago I went in to give my son a kiss goodnight, and right as I do, with his eyes still closed and still asleep, he says the F word is FCK. I know the R word too, but it's really bad. I still have no idea what the R word is. He also once shot up in bed, eyes still closed, screaming, "Make the squid stop spawning." Does he play Minecraft? My husband will actually have full conversations with me in his sleep. I think Reddit might like this one. From earlier this month. Him. Hi. I'm ready to order. Me. Confused. But playing along. Okay. What can I get for you? Him. I'd like a Pepsi and a SLTT white cheese. Me. A Pepsi and a SLTT white cheese? Anything else? Him. A fat burger. With potato. Me. And how would you like your potato? Him. F-ked. A F-ked potato. Me. Okay. A F-ked potato. A fat burger. A Pepsi. And a SLTTY cheese. Anything else? Him. I want a hat. With a propeller. Me. I'll write us anything else? Pause. Him. I'm ready to pay. Me. That'll be $20. How would you like to pay? Him. If I could pay with Risius I'd have a lot of money. One time, my friend told me I said no. Fatty. You can't have the ice cream. People say this to me when they're awake. Shared a hotel room with a couple friends once, and as we were all waking up one morning, One of the guys just mumbles, "Did you guys teabag me cause there's hair in my mouth?" He doesn't say anything else and continues sleeping there for like another hour. We could not stop laughing. But he's single on Facebook. My 12-year-old stepsister. Hey. When you throw the butter at that spider. One of my friends suddenly shot upright once and shouted tank rejuvenation. Before flopping straight back down. That's the sign of a good healer. My friend sat upright in his sleeping bag. Turned his head really slowly at me. And said, "Who ate all the bananas?" Edit. My fiance talks in his sleep on a nightly basis. But only a few incidents are memorable. My favorite is when he woke me up by grabbing my breast in the middle of the night. This in and of itself is not an unusual occurrence. But what was strange was when he asked in a voice full of such wonder and curiosity. As if the mysteries of the universe were before him. "What is this?" I'm fully awake at this point. So I just reply, "Honey. It's my boob. Go back to sleep." He settled back into the bed. Gave Lefty one last little squeeze. Said, "Oh. Okay." And, content with this explanation. Went back to sleep. Second favorite. When he bolted straight up in bed. Shouted troll. In the same manner as one might shout charge. Comma. And fell back to the bed. Dead to the world. He redits. "Love you. Honey." In the dungeon. While I was student teaching for a HS band during marching season. My GF said I scared the crap out of her in the middle of the night for sitting straight up and snapping loudly 1, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Everybody always says 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4 but rhythmically 1, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4 is correct. Mind equals blown. Don't put the duck there. Him. A bunch of gibberish. Us. Dude. You're talking in your sleep. Him. No. I'm not. It's very important. Us. Then what did you say? Him. I don't remember. But it was very important. I do this shit sometimes. I only sleep talk when in limbo and then I can't even explain myself. The cat was flying through the ceiling. Right through the ceiling. What? We should be concerned. The cat is flying through the ceiling. What are you talking about? Oh. Nothing. Nothing. It made so much sense in the dream. But in reality cats don't even have access to the command prompt for no clip. My husband shook me awake at like 4 AM back in college. His eyes were bug-eye and he looked jacked up on coffee and he said, "The smell is enough to kill you," in this deep baritone voice he has never been able to replicate. Then his eyes shut and he collapsed back onto the bed. It was f***ing terrifying. That's not sleep talking. That's drugs. My little brother, when I woke him up and he was half asleep half awake. Could I really be related to a T-Rex? A few years ago over breakfast my girlfriend described how I had freestyle rapped in the style of a DR. Swiss poem in the middle of the night. I don't even listen to rap. Which makes it even more odd. If I had this skill while conscious, I'm certain that great things would happen. Girlfriend pulls the entire cover off of me. I groggily reach over to pull it back. Her hand instantly snaps out and grabs my wrist and she says, "No. It's just a joke." No MR Blobby. You can't have my sheep. Me and my brother used to both sleep talk, and if we were in the same room, we would have conversations or argue. My mother said she distinctly remembers us having a conversation when I was 11 and he was 9 about how oranges were too similar to cactus and we should stop the government from finding out. This is what my little sister said. Right before coming out of her dazed post-wisdom teeth removal state. "For the love of God. Don't forget to feed the fish this time. We have never owned any type of fish." My friend screamed out in the middle of the night. "Grandma. Don't play football with a taco. He still doesn't believe me that he did. Friend threw off his covers and proudly proclaimed, "The bomb has been planted." He then went back to sleep. My brother. A word that starts with an A? Train. 24 years old heavily bearded boyfriend. Plastic sunflower. Is Santa still gonna come? I was a good boy this year. Promise he'll still come? Was at my best friend's and her boyfriend was asleep on her couch. He's the whitest boy ever. And he's vegetarian. The things he said varied from Gangster Convention 3000. What's up we as I. And man. Pass me that chicken. And that look-aid. And that mac and cheese, oh my god. These kinds of comments went on for half an hour. IDK how our laughing didn't wake him up. My girlfriend says I kept demanding special shampoo for big feet. She tried to quiet me down but apparently I was very adamant about it. I sleep talk a lot and sometimes I even do it with my eyes open. The first night my now girlfriend slept at my place I rolled over in the middle of the night and exclaimed your vagina is as large as a Viking. Needless to say I was awoken by a slap to my face and then seconds later my front door slamming shut. It's not really something that I've heard but every roommate I've had in the past 4 years has said that I often bolt up in the middle of the night while they are studying. Point out the window. And stare at them with a face filled with fury. Apparently I will continue to do it until they acknowledge me. Then I just fall right back asleep. I do this every night and have no idea why. Roommate in college. No. Get her off me. Too much blubber. Long pause. Smells like an enchilada. When I was younger, my mother told me I said, "You can't play the air guitar." That's ridiculous on almost a nightly basis. I was sleeping over at my friend's house and her little sister yelled out a pelican bit my finger. Then went silent. My friend rolled over. Looked right at me and said pick my cotton. Dot. Apparently after traveling for 12 plus hours I crashed into a very deep sleep and I was the only one that wasn't bothered by a tree slamming into our room's window. Apparently after a couple of hours I just sort of turned around and mumbled in Romanian something to the effect of FCK it. I'm gonna cut the tree down. And you don't speak Romanian. Do you? I don't know guys. Is it a goose or a gun? We still don't know what it was. Can I borrow this machete? Please? My husband walked in one night when I was asleep and I told him not to pour salt on the slug. He said I was very upset about it and told him over and over again not to do it. During a lock-in back in high school, a friend of mine farted while sleeping. Said doorknob. Got out of bed and walked across the room to hit the doorknob and then fell to the floor sound asleep where he stayed until everyone else woke up in the morning. During basic training in the army we would do fire guard at night. There once was a guy named Bates that talked in his sleep every night saying the most random things you could think of. Oh, I ran my little wagon into the wall. And then the man said I will not stand in front of the train. Haha, I love cock. He got a lot of crap for that last one. Good times. Boyfriend farts really loudly in his sleep and rolls over to face me. I'm sorry me, what are you sorry for, hun? Boyfriend rolls away from me quickly. I regret nothing. He doesn't remember any of this. It was rather funny. Abandon hope all ye who enter here. Is what I would have said. Apparently one time I started screaming no there are Arabs in there. I don't want to go. There are Arabs. One time my brother sat upright. When I'm telling ya. It's the cheese. And led back down. I was sitting on the computer and my dad starting yelling polo clap 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 polo clap clap clap. This went on for about 5 minutes straight. It was then followed by WHO let the cheese out. Woof 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 for about 2 minutes. At a sleepover my friend who was asleep on the floor next to me suddenly sat bolt upright. Turned to me and said there's a ghost in the corner and he's looking at you. I didn't sleep a lot that night. A few weeks into a new relationship, I stood up on the bed, threw my arms out wide, and yelled, "There's blood everywhere." I'm surprised he stuck around. During a trip to Disney World, my sister sat straight up in bed in the middle of the night, sang her a few lines of The Wheels on the bus, then laid back down. Hey. SI mama. Wanna kill all humans? Apparently I had sleep conversations with my roommate in college. Me. Dot. Men eat produce. Roommate. Dude. What? Me. Men eat lettuce. I was once told, I said, "I guess it works if you move to a smaller island in the night." It was so intriguing I saved it in my notepad in case it ever became relevant. My boyfriend is the king of doing things in his sleep he doesn't remember. Talking and more often sex. I woke up once with my pants off and him sleeping with his head on my stomach as if he went to go down on me and then fell back into a slumber. He doesn't remember anything. It happens all the time. I was on the phone with my girlfriend, and when she sleep talks, everything that comes out is truth. She's admitted some weird stuff to me in her sleep on accident. Stuff that she hid from me before. I was on the phone with her one night, and she fell asleep. I still sat there on the phone talking because she'd had a bad day and I was comforting her. She sleep said Cobra Hawk 1210. I love you. And then started breathing softly again. It was adorable and made me feel really nice. My brother slept on the couch. In the middle of the night he stood up, fell on his knees and digged with his bare hands inside the couch. He was in panic and screamed, "Help the postman. He is stuck. Help him." I yelled at him, "Dude, what's wrong?" Full stop. He gave me a weird, wide-eyed look and just fell asleep instantly. Very weird. My girlfriend talks about cookies all the f***ing time. Back when I was in 8th grade I went away to summer camp. During one of the nights this kid screams out, "No mommy. Not the pickle." According to my girlfriend, she woke up one night by me ripping all the covers off the bed. She sleepily rolled over to see me crouching in the corner completely wrapped up in the blanket with just my face showing. She said, "What are you doing?" My reply, eyes wide open and deadpan. My friend told this about me. I was sleeping over at her place on a mattress right by her bed. Apparently, I'd gotten up in the middle of the night, climbed on her bed, gotten close up to her face with my eyes wide open, and said in a very serious voice, "It's easier if you jump in head first." I'd scared the shit out of her. When she told me in the morning, I remembered the dream I'd had, which was about an instructor teaching me how to jump out of a helicopter. Yeah. The instructor had told me it was easier head first. This makes sense in dream world. Okay. Don't steal the lemons, you bitch. Mom. Edit. Holy shit. So there's a real PRNO that goes with this? Man. I thought I knew the internet well enough. The kid I used to babysit sleep talked all the time. The most memorable time was probably when she rolled over during her nap and yelled, "Don't make me eat the chicken nuggets, please. Don't make me. Give them to the penguins because they can't read newspapers." Weirdest sentence ever. My grandfather said we have to sew the Santa suit snore with thread from birds. Sad he left. My friend once sat up in bed and started trying to order pizza. Apparently the other night my mom was going to the bathroom. As she's walked past my door the following happened. "Me moo mom, what you say? Me moo mom, are you mooing at me? Me moo mom, okay night, love you me moo." It was at 3:30 in the morning. I have no recollection of these events. I remember sleeping over my friend's house in 7th grade and hear him muttering. I ignore it, but the muttering gets louder. I say, "Dude, are you talking to me?" He keeps muttering, and I say louder, "What? I can't hear you, man." He then speaks up loudly and says in a firm voice, "Shut up, fruit snacks, I'm talking to the little girl." Then he went back to mumbling. I nope to sleep faster than 3 cups of NyQuil. Or tried to. The next morning he said he didn't remember telling me that. I was always creeped out by that experience until he was diagnosed with schizophrenia 2-3 years later. Went to put my arm around my girlfriend a couple of months ago. Don't. Just don't. It's not going to happen because it doesn't even make sense. So just don't. She then proceeded to take all the blankets and rolled over. End of the semester in college and me and Buddy are hanging out at an apartment that a few of our friends live in. There are 3 of us and 2 of us are finished for the semester. The one guy that isn't has 3 papers to finish before 5 PM. And he is napping on the couch at 3 PM. We try and wake him up and he goes. Him. You guys are just jealous. Us. What are we jealous of? Him. These are a couple of things my poor boyfriend has heard me say in my sleep. There's dragons. But I'm spinning in a vortex with fire. Random whimpers. Boyfriend asks what's wrong. He's hurting me. He has a knife and he's hurting me. My boyfriend talks in his sleep. He's said a lot. FCK that PSSY. I'm scared of monsters. Oh. Annie. This one was more flattering than weird. Close bracket. Don't cry. Don't cry. Not a cake. But it's Sunday. He said this very sadly. Close bracket. I'm gonna FCK your car. My dad once had an argument with God in his sleep. This boat's too small. What are you going to do about it? I spent the next 2 days slipping Noah references into conversation. He was amused. I'm gonna FCK Bill Gates cervically with a PlayStation 4. My friend mumbled something along the lines of infinity rainbows. My wife texts me in her sleep. The best being. What if belly buttons are all that remain of human kangaroo pouches? My girlfriend whispering my name. Charles. Charles. I'm going to F-king cut your balls off. Charles. Quan Kai. Come back. I must train you some more.